Peacework Medical Projects is a small, grassroots, homegrown humanitarian project. I collect teams of medical professionals and health educators to go to where there is no health care, to bring hope, health education, self-esteem, medicine, and treatment to people who might otherwise go without. And what results is much more than medicine.
The numbers of people that we see are easily into the thousands because sometimes in one day it's 500 or 600. It's outstanding the number of people that we can touch, those lives that we can touch.
We've changed the incidence of cervical cancer. This was the #1 leading cause of mortality among women of childbearing age in the region of northern Honduras where we work. 5 years later, the government told us it had dropped to third. No longer first, no longer second, but third.
Pam and her volunteers have actually been responsible for the healthy birth of a number of children. These women named their children in Pamela's honor. Every year they know Peacework is coming, rush to the village and want the big Pam to pose with Pamelita.
The sheer energy that she brings to this. She is such a warm, caring person, and at the same time so organized and so driven, and to the fiber of who she is, believes that what she is doing is the right thing to do.
It's not really about the medicine. It's about the human connection. It's about the long-term effects of teaching and learning and sharing. And that's what we leave behind. The Tylenol runs out. I would be forsaking a gift I have if I didn't do this. My gift is to organize others, to invigorate others.
She leads by example, by making you want to join her.
Her humility and her sincerity makes you think that you can completely accomplish so much more, and that, you know what, my time is just beginning.
I get to live my dream, and I get to share it with people who couldn't find a way to connect with that dream. That lights you up.
Jess was totally committed to bringing healthcare to people who had no other option. And when she started working here, she began to realize how many health issues there were, and solutions to those problems were all 70 miles away. She was always available. She was on call 24 hours a day with no vacations for the first few years.
Jessica and Robert always were striving to grow services for our community. Always applying for grants, always looking for new funding opportunities, always looking for collaborative types of arrangements. They did an absolutely incredible, amazing job of finding millions of dollars to build a state-of-the-art health center in a very small place.
Jessica Stevens was very, very important to this community. She loved us. She loved her patients. She was passionate about her health care, and we were the recipients of Jessica Stevens' passion.
She had a passion for people. The people that was treated by her, I don't think they'll ever forget Jessica, because she cared. She cared about each individual. She cared about me. And I think everybody that ever went to her will never forget.
Jess would listen to people. That, I think, characterizes her whole approach to life.
Jess was special, but she showed us we were all special. And she'd be sorely disappointed if we couldn't continue that without her.
Recently, there was a community foundation started in her name. I hope that will allow for people 10, 15, and 20, and 100 years from now to say, wow, that Jessica Stevens must have been a really special person.
There are people that come through your life that provide inspiration, that provide leadership that you don't see, and that's who she was. And I think as a physician assistant, people should realize that you can change the world.
The patients community Mrs. Jessica Stevens so much because she was our living hero. I don't know. She was our living hero.
Kathy's passion is taking care of older people who are very frail, in the nursing home, in their own homes, on house calls, in the hospital, particularly those with severe illnesses, those facing the end of life. She just grabs onto that difficult situation and makes it better.
To see someone who was unable to get up out of bed, or even sometimes to speak, able to return to their full function, be back with their family and enjoy life, that is the highest reward.
I just turned 90. Really, with her care and my dear daughter, I feel like I'm 80. If I have her, I might make it to 100.
She's simply a terrific geriatric provider and teacher. She's taught medical students, residents, PAs.
That's great.
And touched the lives of hundreds and thousands of patients and families.
What makes Kathy special is that when you watch Kathy taking care of some of her elderly geriatric patients, you say, she's talking to her grandma and her grandpa.
I feel a strong desire to help, to be there as a counselor, as a friend, as a confidant, to alleviate suffering, whatever the suffering may be, whether it's pain, distress, even spiritual pain. It's important to me to make all that as good as it can be for people.
She shared tears with me too, because you can't fix everything, but you can recognize it and come to closure, and she was able to come to closure with me and my mother.
When that day comes, I hope and I pray that Kathy is standing by my side, holding my hand and holding my mom's hand with me. No one in this nation deserves this award any more than Kathy does.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your 2008 PAragon Award winners. Presented posthumously, the Federal Service Physician Assistant of the Year, David Gwynn. The Physician-Physician Assistant Partnership, Dr. Helena Chu and Freddie Sigal-Guden. The Humanitarian Physician Assistant of the Year, Pamela Burwell. Also presented posthumously, Physician Assistant Service to the Underserved, Jessica Stevens. The Outstanding Physician Assistant of the Year, Kathy Kim Lee. Let's give a round of applause for these extraordinary people whose lives and accomplishments you are celebrating today.